Hi, this is Glow's Crafts. If you haven't already watched part 1, please do so. It's called Glitzy Recycled Toppers / 3D Shapes, and I'll show you how to make these shapes actually using cardboard. And this is sizzix bigz die, and it's by Olivia Rose. I've had a play around with my beads here, and this is the layout I'm going to do. Now for the holes, I'm just going to use a pin because of the thickness there. I can't get my punch tool in, so I'm just going to judge where the point is there. I'm just going to do it a little bit away from the edge. Take it in a slight bit, and then just wiggle it and push through. Make sure your finger's not underneath. So the other side. And then just give it a wiggle to get that hole a bit bigger. And then we have our first hole there. So again, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to see about there. And just push it through, and again, I'm going to make it a bit bigger there. Star. Again, just wriggle. You want the holes to be big enough so that again, we're looking for this centre of gravity point. It's going to be about here. I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything at the bottom here, so I'll leave that for the moment. Okay. So I'm just going to move these to the side. I have my tray here. Now I tried to use the jump rings, and I found that because of the thickness of the cardboard and the curve of the jump rings, it was quite awkward. So I've had to scrap that idea. So I'm going to use supplemax instead. So I'm just going to judge how much supplemax I'll need. Allowing for a bit extra. So we're going to have the loop there. It's going to come down there. So first thing is to thread it through. Let's hope this is going to thread through okay. Yeah, it does. Okay, supplemax is going to work a lot better. I'm just going to trim part off here. And then I'm going to put my beads on. So I'm going to thread the 2 strands with the beads. I just want to bring it down and pull that tight. So the crimps that I'm using today are from Hobbycraft. They're Beads Unlimited, and they also have a website. The supplemax and the tigertail that you can use to make these is by Beadalon and is also available in Hobbycraft. So I'm going to do all the prep. So that's going to be for that one. So for the rabbit to the star, for the amount of beads I have, I'm allowing 22 inches of the supplemax. So again, I need to go down and put the supplemax singly through the rabbit, and then gather the two ends together equally. And because I'm using supplemax rather than the pins, I'll be able to put it all on the same piece. Make sure they're even. I'm going to see how this is with a double strand through there. Yeah, that's going to be fine. So pull that down there. Again, make sure your ends are even. The light's actually quite bad here. I'm struggling to see where the hole is in the beads. So we're going to use these tiny little crimps here. Right, there's silver ones, so I want the gold ones. So I'm going to do this one first. And I want the bead, see the actual hole on the bead there. I want that to go down right onto the star, so it's like that. I'm going to be pulling it quite tight there. With the supplemax, you now divide it in two, and then only put one strand through to the other side. And then I'm going to put one of these tiny, tiny little crimps. Again, get them there as even as you can with your fingers. Get one in, and then push and twist until the two ends are through. Okay, so you can see here that the two ends are through there. I'm going to take this through to the back. I'm just going to pull that down and make sure it's all in place before I tighten this bit here. I'm going to make sure that it's laying straight before I do this. Now with the tiny little crimps, just take your flat nose pliers. Again, you can see the stars off centre, so I'm just going to make sure it's in the centre before I do this. I'm just going to press down, and then what happens, sorry, you can see there that the crimp is flat against, and just do a little test and make sure it's not going to release it. So I want to just check before I cut it that goes in the middle, and yeah, that's just nice. I'm quite happy with that. So once your crimp's been crimped, you just take your pliers and just trim the excess off. Just wiggle your pliers about a little bit. This tiger tail is actually quite tough to cut. Okay, that's one end done. I think my pliers are getting blunt. There we go. Okay, so I've cut those ends. Cut the ends off. And then there's enough room for the point to go into there for the star. So that's the first section done. Okay. So again, we want to put the one end through it and take two ends and put them together. And then you want to pull down until you get it in the position. Again, I don't want these slack, I want them pretty tight. Okay. And you can see here the tiger tail's uneven, so I'm just going to make them even, and then I'm going to adjust and pull down until they're even again. Okay, so next is to get this crimp on. Just take your time with it. It's a bit footery, but you're in no hurry. Okay, so I'm just going to check that, yeah, it's went through both ends. Right, so see what I've done here. I want to make sure that the crimps are going to be at the back. So I'm just going to check that I've got the crimps in the right way, and I have. So I'm just going to pull the tiger tail there. I'm just going to check again that it's going to lay okay. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So just use your nail and push the tiger tail down. Take your pliers, push the crimp down, and then just press on your pliers a couple of times. And before you cut, check that you're happy with how it is. Right, So let's have a look. So yeah, there's not, that's quite neat. It's not going to be too slack. And actually the tiger tail blends in, you hardly see it at all. So again, it's a matter of cutting the ends off. I'm going to do one at a time because I think the pliers are getting blunt. There we go. Oh, that's really cute. I'm loving this. I'm loving how it's turned out. I'll move it to the side so you can get it in the screenshot. Oh, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. And I've done a little flower there for the spring. We've got the star. I'm going to hang this up, I think, in my bedroom window. So we've still got the loop here. Now, I hadn't planned this, but I think I might add some there. We'll see how they go. So the next section is to hang this here. So I'm just going to take this off. And I've got a bit of tiger tail here. It's probably going to be enough. Again, I just thread this through. So I've not wasted that bit of tiger tail. Quite like the idea of putting a bead here to close that up. So let's see what we've got here. I think I'll just put a little blue crystal that I've got. Whoops. Take two. So I'm just putting the tiger tail through here. And what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to put an extra crimp at the bottom. Oops. This one's actually silver, I think. That's going to be okay because we're putting the blue bead there. And that's there. Let's see if I've got another gold one here though. Yeah, I do. Got a gold one there. Okay. So I'm just going to put a crimp in here. I think I'm needing a new pair of glasses, to be honest. Okay, so we've got the crimp there. Try it with the flat nose pliers and go down the way. Okay, so I'm going to hold it in place. And as soon as I've got it as tight as I can, I'm just going to press down to crimp it. Okay. So that's going to keep that a lot flatter and be a lot easier to get the other beads on. So I would recommend with the gem crystal that you put a crimp on there first. With these, I don't think it mattered. It was just basically using the crimps to attach the wire. And I don't know if it's going to be easier. I've got two of different lengths. I'll see if I can get one in and then the other. Okay, we've got one in. So yeah, it's a bit easier if they're 2 different lengths. So yeah, that works. So I'll just take some crystal beads. Let's see how this is going to look. I've got one of these here. I'll try this. I've already used this beads with the purple, so it might tie the two because we're using the purple and the blue. If I use the blue and the purple there, that'll go deciding. I'm going to put them the opposite way. So I'm going to have the dark one first. It's got like an Aurora Borealis coating. Still having trouble seeing in this light. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm a lot happier with that. I like how that looks. I'm going to sit that down here for a second. I'm going to decide where this crystal's going to go. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to lift this up in the air. So I'm just seeing the position here. Probably want it to be on the edge rather than having it dangling there. I want it to be on the edge, so I'm going to put the hole about there. And the weight of the beads going down from the moon should balance it out. Okay, so I'm going to put it about there. Let's see. So I want it near the end, so just mind your finger. Because there's a point at the end, put it on the table. Again, just widen it, so it's going to be big enough for the tiger tail to go through it. We've got one end longer than the other. If that happens, I recommend you put the longer end through the tiger tail. You put the longer end of the tiger tail through to the back. So let's see how this is going to look. I don't want, if I put this too tight, yeah, I actually do want it tight rather than being slack. Yeah, I'm really liking how that looks. Really liking how that looks. So again, you put the crimp on. Again, before I put the crimp, before I close the crimp, I'm just going to hold it that way, pull it, and then use my nail. So I've pulled it, I'm using my nail to get the crimp to the back to touch. I don't want it too tight though. So I know from seeing how tight it is, I can just bring it down just a little bit and just crimp it. And again, before I cut the wire, I'm going to check and see how that is. Yeah, that's okay. Could have done it a bit tighter, but I'm quite happy with that. It's good enough. Again, cut your tiger tail off. And if you see here, I'm not cutting it right where the crimp is. I'm just allowing a little bit extra. There we go. So let's see how this is looking now. So you don't actually see the crimp from the back. But yeah, I'm really liking how this is turning out. really liking it. So let's see now. So we've got that. So the next part is to just put a piece of, you can either choose the tiger tail, or if you want that to be clear, so it looks like it's just dangling in your window, you could use supplemax. I think actually I'm just going to use the supplemax. Then it'll just dangle in the window. So with these here, let me just pull that round there. I'm going to allow for more than I think I need here, because I can always adjust it when I put it in the window. Again, I'm going to use the crimp for this. I'm going to put one end through it. With the supplemax, if you put a knot in it at the top, it could work its way loose. So it's a good idea still to keep using the crimps. That's through the two ends. And there's pliers. So again, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to take the crimp down, and then just press. And that's just going to hold that in place. I do have some more beads here. Let's have a look and see how the beads would actually look against here. So let's have a look. You can see it's getting quite long here, but as I say, I'm going to hang it in my window. I'm thinking I'm going to put some beads dangling from this bit. So you can see here I've got some. I think we'll take the flower one out. So usually I go from large to small. Let's have a look and see. Now, I've also got a purple one here, so let's have a play around. Using the blue and the lilac, you can kind of bring the colours together as well. Let's see. So I'll just fiddle around until I'm happy with it. I'll need one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it up against and see how it looks. I'll try and see. I'm not sure about the big bead, to be honest. I'll try and see. Right, the big bead, the hole isn't large enough for the two ends of the supplemax, so obviously not meant to be. So we'll just thread the other ones through it. Right, so I'll have a look and see how this looks. So I'm just going to hold this up in the air to see how it looks. Yeah, so I've checked to see how that is, and I do quite like it. I like the look of it. So I'm just going to take another crimp. Trying to see where these are. I think I'm going to need to go and get the packet. I think I've only got the silver ones left, but to be honest, I think I'm just going to use the silver because the silver will be less likely to be seen with the clear supplemax. So you could, if you wanted, put a crimp down there, but I'm not going to bother. I don't think that's absolutely necessary. Okay, so I've got my crimp here. Again, take your pliers, hold, and then just press down, and then that's it, sealed. Forms your loop, and I'm just going to trim this tiny little bit off. Again, not going down right to the bottom. And that's the Dreamcatcher Ostara Spring Bunny Rabbit ornament. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks, bye.